course, it really only matters what the five of us think about it. Me and the XR4TI. You don't know how we felt about it, but you'll find out soon enough. All right, the one guy, as I mentioned, that he saved his heavy lumber for is the guy I'm going to right now. Another first-timer. A guy that a lot of you have been waiting on. Let's see what he has. Brad in Corona. First time ever in the Smack Off. What's up, Brad? How are you?
I'm good. Romy, I was napping during Vic's call right now. I thought I heard my name at the end of it. I was your finale, Vic? Here's how this works, buddy. You're my intro, okay? You're what I give people to get them really warmed up for my good stuff. Thanks for the primetime showing you just gave me in that 5-minute coma you think was a smack-off call. Anyways, Jim, it's Man vs. Wild today in the jungle, and just like the TV show Man vs. Wild, I'm going to step up to a couple of these rotting, bloated carcasses, take a bite out of them raw, get enough vitamins and nutrients to move up the food chain to the next lame, and then I'm going to eat him too. Let me start, Rome, with the equivalent of jungle roadkill. Vic in NoCal. Vic, as John Calipari would say, you, my man, are the poop in our jungle ice cream. And Jim, your interview with Cal last week got me thinking. Maybe Vic didn't choke when he no-showed to the Smack-Off 2 years ago. Maybe fate intervened, Jim, and all the events in Vic's life leading up to the '07 Smack-Off had combined to make Vic such a loser that it was impossible for him to do anything other than what he did, which was wet the bed. But Vic, even though you have a voice that puts people to sleep, a face only your mother could love, and jokes that aren't funny at all, I want you to know that you've left a legacy, okay? Whenever my 1-year-old daughter has an accident and we have to change her sheets, I tell her, don't worry, sweetie. It is Vic in NoCal the bed, that's all. No, Mommy's going to clean it up. Don't cry, baby. You didn't mean to Vic in NoCal the bed. Everybody does it once in a while. It's just not okay to do it when you're 30 years old in front of 2 million people on the greatest sports talk show in the history of the universe, okay? Okay, sweetie. Romy, I'll let that digest while I move up the jungle food chain to Mike DeTola. Excuse me, I forgot his proper title. Dork Mike DeTola. Mike, please do not call into the show today and talk about your college degrees and how smart you are, you smarmy little dork. I know you're a dentist, Mike. I know you went to college, okay? I did too. And you know what, Mike? I also know exactly what college was like for you, you silly, silly nerd. Romy, can't you picture Mike and his brother Jeff schlepping their big old luggage trunk across the quad on their first day of college? Jeffrey, college is a whole different ballgame. People judge you differently than they did in high school. They're all excited, you know, but then Ogre spots them from the roof of the fraternity house. Nerds! 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 Where are they, Jeffrey? I think he's talking about us, Michael. Yeah, that's right, Mike. You're a nerd. Stop calling into the Jim Rome Show and talking about sports and college. The closest you came to sports and college was when you and your brother and Booger and Lamar and the rest of the Lambda fraternity house put liquid heat in the football team's jock straps before practice. Speaking of annoying dorks, Rome, have you taken a look at Craig Sager during the TNT NBA broadcasts? What in the name of God is he wearing? It looks like Dennis Rodman and Deion Sanders got together with Huggy Bear and Snagglepuss to start their own line of custom suits. Attention, Craig Sager. You are not half as cool as you need to be to wear the light pink suit with the lime green tie and the green shoes. You look like a 1970s pimp. Anthony Kim's belt buckles think that your suits draw a little too much attention to themselves, okay? Romy, I wonder if behind the scenes Sager's really trying to work it like your boy Delonte West, you know? Doug Collins, I don't care if you got to fly. Trains, planes, and automobiles. You better have Craig Sager's Krispy Kreme donuts. Moving on, Rome. When Iafrate called you earlier this week and said he didn't know if he was going to make it today, he wasn't talking about the smack-off, bro. He was talking about life. He didn't know if he was going to live to the end of this week. That's right, Iafrate. I don't know how old you are, but from the sound of your voice, you're either a 2,000-year-old Jedi Emperor or a couple of packs of Marlboros away from someone reading your eulogy. Greetings, Jim. It's the smack-off, old man, not the smoke-off. Stick with what you know, Gramps, and it's not sports, okay? Like I said, from the sound of your voice, it's Marlboro Reds, Metamucil, and bedpans, in that order. You talk to me about that, I'm going to listen. I don't want to hear your sports takes. And finally, Rome, you've got to be kidding me. Iafrate won this thing last year, and he took the computer as his prize? The computer? What a waste. Romy, the guy's 92 years old. You could have given him a bag of Werther's Originals and promised him a phone call from his grandson. He would have been twice as happy. Okay, giving a 92-year-old guy a computer is borderline elder abuse, Rome. I mean, I can imagine Iafrate just sitting there staring at it after it got delivered, you know, with a confused look on his face and tears in his eyes from knowing he'll never figure out how to use it. Kind of like the way Joe in the OC gets every time he catches a glimpse of his own junk. The point is this, Jim. I'm through with Iafrate. I'm through with this call. I've eaten my way to the top of the jungle food chain, and you know what, Romy? They all kind of tasted like chicken. So Iafrate, if you're waiting on hold right now, I want you to tell whoever's responsible for wheeling you up to the phone every year to turn you around, turn your oxygen down, and wheel you back to your room, okay? It is bedtime, old man. Now, Iafrate, you will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep. Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandpa.
Damn. How about Brad and Corona? That might be, and I got to think about it for a minute, that might be the best ever rookie call to a smack-off that we've ever heard in 15 years. In fact, no might about it. Is it enough to win? We're going to find out. Without question, that was the best debut call to a smack-off in the history of the event. Money.